Solomon Grundy can heal from most wounds, he can manipulate energy to a small extent, and he can control plants and resurrect from the dead. Not to mention he's immune to all sicknesses and diseases. Now, Solomon's pretty strong. He's capable of seriously wounding Batman, and he's shown the speed to fight Batman, who can fight people who can dodge bullets. However, Solomon himself is incapable of dodging bullets. Solomon's also capable of taking quite the beating from Batman before going down. Now, I'm going to say this at one thing. Solomon Grundy on one occasion, only once, was able to not only keep up it with speed-wise, but also hurt Superman and survive attacks from him in prolonged melee combat. But this is a very rare occurrence. Now, while I will take it into consideration for this thing, it is a very rare occurrence that he did this. Now, typically, Solomon Grundy is a dipshit. He's incapable of speaking or saying anything more than a nursery rhyme, but sometimes he can be a super genius, but this is also on those incredibly rare occasions where he's capable of fighting Superman. But Grundy is not perfect. He's a brawler and will go straight for a fist fight rather than use weapons or really think about his strategy. And depending on his intelligence level, he can really be easy to trick and put down. Solomon Grundy is walking through Camp Crystal Lake as a fog rolls in and Jason walks out holding a dead body with a machete in the skull. He then removes the machete from the body and looks at Solomon. Solomon runs over at full speed and goes for a punch, but Jason dodges and stabs the machete into Solomon. And then he rips out the machete, spins, and slashes it into Solomon's arm. Solomon then grabs the machete and pulls it out and throws it to the ground. Solomon then grabs Jason, slams him on the ground, and stomps on him repeatedly, cracking his ribs. Solomon goes to stomp on him one more time, but Jason grabs his leg and twists it, tripping Solomon. Jason stands back up and grabs an axe from the ground and swings it overhead at Solomon, who blocks with his arms. As the axe gets lodged into Solomon, Jason then stomps on his throat. Jason then starts to walk into some fog as Solomon gets up and pulls out his tombstone and smashes it over Jason's head. Jason turns around and grabs a broken sign and smashes it across Solomon's face. Solomon stumbles back before yelling in anger and rushing at Jason, throwing with the pure power, throws him through multiple cabins until he lands in the third one. Solomon then walks over and grabs Jason's body and slams it into the ground repeatedly and then stomps on his head, splattering his brains and blood on the walls of the cabin. Solomon goes to turn around as he starts hearing whispering. Solomon then turns back to look at Jason's body and then rips out his heart and eats it. Solomon's body starts to shake for a minute or two, and then he bends over, picks up Jason's mask, puts it on, and leaves. Jason in his new body then walks into the fog. Our winner is Jason Voorhees, and it's a pretty close match for some parts. You see, Jason holds a pretty big edge in strength and speed, and arsenal. However, his intelligence edge isn't that much. Now, Solomon typically is a wall-to-building buster, whereas Jason has shown up to street-level feats at times. Now, speed-wise, again, Solomon Grundy goes up against Batman, whereas Jason can outrun military bullets from helicopters. Or military helicopter bullets. Those are pretty damn fast, and it's going to be too fast for Solomon to stand a chance. Then throw in the fact that Jason's using weapons on top of this, and Solomon's going to have a hard time winning. Then throw in the fact that Solomon Grundy is an idiot, and he has no mental resistance, so even if he were to get the jump on Jason and kill him, he'd still have to go somehow get past the hypnotism that is Jason's heart. And since he's an idiot and shows no mental resistance, Jason's heart would be easily able to manipulate Solomon Grundy into eating it, giving Jason a new bulky body to wreck every campgoer's face with. Now, I'm gonna bring up the Superman stuff. Yes, he was able to fight and keep up with Superman at one point, but that was one incarnation, and he did die and come back later as a new incarnation. So it's not fair to technically count these stats, and even if we were to just composite it all together, there's a very low chance he would show this strength again during a fight against Jason. So, our winner is Jason Voorhees.
to spread out with it. South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, on to North Carolina, Philadelphia, Virginia. From down in Miami where it warm in the winter, on up to Minnesota where it's storm in the winter. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Memphis, 10, holla at me.